Skateboard building, a fun and engaging classroom project that appeals to the vast majority of high school students. Who wouldn't want to go home with their own custom-made skateboard, especially a board that is as unique and as individual as the person who made it? Skateboards are cool, so if this class project is so fun and engaging, why are some of the students waiting until the last few minutes of the class session to complete their skateboards? Even though students who love skateboarding often feel rushed to get their boards completed by the end of class. What I found was that many students are not accustomed to having so much control over their classroom time schedule. Many students are used to coming to class and being told what to do, how and when to do it, and sometimes why to do it. The skateboard building class is different. It's a class that centers on student-to-student communication and collaboration amongst one another. Students all of a sudden felt as though they had a huge amount of free time that they could sit around and talk because they weren't being lectured to. For some, this feeling of having all this free time could easily result in off-topic conversation that used up classroom time that was allotted for the design process or the layout process. Many students simply didn't know how to manage their time. I assumed that time management would happen automatically. I assumed that students would easily see the direct correlation between how they use their time and their end product. But good time management doesn't happen by default, and classrooms don't run smoothly without a schedule. I had a schedule for the class, but it wasn't clear to the students exactly where they were on that schedule. I could tell them, but that was easily forgotten. I needed to communicate that schedule with the students so that they could assess for themselves where they stood on the project timeline, something that would make them directly responsible for how they use their time and for their outcome in the class. I created a rubric with assignment due dates for the math worksheets used in the class, with due dates for procedure steps to be completed by, when writing assignments were due, when artwork was due, and the date that they would be presenting their completed project in front of the class. I created a participation checklist so that they could make sure that they had participated in all aspects of the course. These were concrete milestones that let the students know exactly where they stood on the project timeline. The result? Students loved the framework to operate within. Even if they waited until the last minute to get their assignments turned in, they did it. And this meant that they completed their skateboards by the end of the course. It also helped me with assessment of student progress along the way. It made the classroom run much more smoothly and made teaching the class much easier for me. And ultimately, it made the students directly responsible for how they use their classroom time.